Imagine getting a message that says, your account has been locked. Click here to verify your identity. You panic a little, click the link, and type in your password, only to realize a few hours later that your money is gone. And that's not a movie scene. That's phishing, and it's happening to thousands of people around the world, especially teenagers like us. Good morning, everyone. My name is Gracelyn, and today I'm going to be presenting my research titled Awareness of Phishing to Digital Wallet Security Among Teenagers in Surabaya. As technology becomes part of our daily lives, our wallets have moved from our pockets to our phones. But while that may make our lives easier, it also makes us easier targets. In Indonesia alone, the phishing cases has risen by more than over 400% in the early 2023, which was a sharp increase from the late 2022. And this made me question, just how aware are teenagers in Surabaya of phishing threats to their digital wallet security? See, phishing isn't just happening abroad. It's also a major issue here in Indonesia. Phishing is a type of cyber attack that tricks users into giving away personal or financial information by pretending to be a trusted source. For example, fake websites or emails. And in Indonesia, in the early 2023, there were 26,657 phishing reports in just the first quarter of 2023. And this is a sharp increase from the late 2022. And teenagers are a particularly vulnerable group because of lower digital literacy and also the fact that they are heavy users of digital wallets. And for example, this is a phishing scam in Indonesia, which basically disguised itself as a K-pop concert promotion ticket. And many teenagers who were unaware clicked the link and entered their banking credentials, which led to data theft and also money loss. And this highlights the need for education among users, especially young users in Indonesia. And for this research, the goal was to assess the awareness of teenagers in Surabaya regarding phishing and also how it affects the digital wallet security. And the hypothesis was that only a small portion of teenagers were aware about phishing. And this is mainly due to the fact that cybersecurity education still remains uncommon in schools and also in social media. And I aim to recommend ways to improve digital literacy by identifying these awareness gaps. And this correlates with one of the SGDs, which is quality education. And to achieve this goal, I use a mixed method approach, which combines both quantitative and qualitative data. For quantitative data, I distributed a Google Form survey between 81 respondents, all ranging from the ages 13 to 19. And for the qualitative data, I interviewed two experts, the first one being Mr. Lim Xiaoliang, who is the Chief Cybersecurity Officer at PT Bank Hai Bank, and also Mr. Irwan Sutra, who is an IT security consultant. And by combining both the quantitative and the qualitative data, I aim to understand phishing from both user perspective and also professional perspective. Now, let's look at the findings. First, it is found that teenagers in Surabaya has a basic understanding. And this is seen here in the first graph, which shows that about 95% of the teenagers were able to correctly identify phishing as an online scam. And about 93% were able to identify a phishing email, which can be seen in the second graph. However, when asked about how often they hear about phishing, they answered the word sometimes. And this shows that while they do understand about phishing and they have a basic knowledge, they rarely engage with it and we learn about it actively. And when asked to identify phishing indicators, they were only able to identify 4 to 5 indicators out of 9. And this all shows a moderate level of awareness, which means that while they do have some understanding about phishing, they might still fall for more sophisticated scams. Now, when faced with a phishing scenario, interestingly, most of them said that they would either ignore it or verify the email with the bank. And this shows a fairly responsible attitude. Still, it is seen that some still choose to respond to the email to clarify. And this shows some risky behavior still remains between the teenagers. Regarding digital wallet use, over 55% also stated that they always use digital wallets as a form of payment. And the most commonly used ones are either mobile banking or Shopee Pay. And when asked about their password security, most of them mentioned that they use a mix of both numbers and letters. But only a few also incorporated special characters and avoided using personal information into their passwords. And this shows a partial awareness regarding password security, where it highlights the need for greater education and also awareness regarding more secure password security measures. And when asked, the teenagers also mentioned that most of them shared passwords with their parents, which was understandable as they're still young. But some mentioned that they still share it with their friends or other members except their parents. And this could be dangerous and shows that some risky behavior still remains between the teenagers. And last but not least, when asked about what would they do if they suspected unauthorized access to their banking account, 3/4 of the teenagers answered the correct answer, which was that they would change their passwords and enable two-factor authentication. And this shows a good level of awareness between the teenagers, even though some teenagers still underestimated the levels of threats that phishing posed. Now, let's look at the expert insights. After conducting the interviews with both experts agreed that user awareness ultimately still remains as the first and most important line of defense against phishing. Even though banks and digital wallet providers implement security measures such as two-factor authentication, it will still be rendered useless if the users willingly give away data to the attackers. And this is supported by Arshad et al. At 2021, which stated that most phishing emails usually exploit human psychology, and they exploit human fear, urgency, and trust. And similarly, NCSC, or National Cybersecurity Center, also mentioned that phishing emails are intentionally designed to provoke emotional reactions that overrides rational thinking. And this is all confirmed by Mr. Lim, who stated that phishing emails are designed to create fake urgency and are usually sent at critical times, such as tax seasons or emergency like during the COVID-19 era. And this basically encourages the users to act quickly without verifying it first with a trusted source. Meanwhile, Mr. Iwan also stated that we need consistent user education, because even the strongest systems could easily be bypassed without awareness. And this is supported by the International Journal of Research in Education, which shows that targeted phishing could increase phishing awareness from 54% to 78% and reduce click-through rates from 42% to just 18%. And this shows that training works, but it needs to be consistent and practical, not just theoretical. And even though there is no 100% bulletproof solution to phishing currently, both experts already agree that user education still remains our best option. And in conclusion, to answer our research question, it's known that teenagers has a basic awareness of phishing, but still shows a gap in between practical applications and also deeper understandings. And this can be seen in the weak password practices and also the inappropriate responses towards phishing. And phishing ultimately will continue to rise as digital wallets becomes more and more integrated into our daily lives. And it is essential for young users to be educated regarding this topic. That's why I recommend education in cybersecurity be implemented into curriculums in school. And also PSAP, or Phishing and Security Awareness Training, be done in school. And this is done to encourage students to understand what to do when faced with a phishing situation. Thank you for listening to my presentation. God bless you.